Good morning and welcome to Munich. We are so excited to bring this next thing to you. We are in front of the Rathaus. Yes?
Yeah, the Neues Rathaus,
The
the new City Hall.
Which was still built a really long time ago. We are about to film the Glockenspiel. We found this restaurant directly in front of the Rathaus, and we're right directly across from it. So even if there's crowds in front of us, we have a table and just a front row seat. We're happy that you're along with us. Welcome to Munich, and let's go.
We got to Munich on Saturday, a couple days before the tour group, and in addition to the Neues Rathaus and the Glockenspiel, we saw the beautiful St. Peter's Church with its incredible interior.
We also saw the Munich Toy Museum. This fun little museum is situated in the old town hall building and has several floors worth of antique toys, games, dolls, building sets, doll houses, and all things childlike. It costs €6 for adults, €2 for children, and €12 for a family. I've linked the website in the description. Good morning. It is the first day of
Our tour.
the second half, the first day of the actual official tour. We're going to be going downstairs in just a minute to meet the Fun for Less group, and today we're traveling to Salzburg.
Yeah, where Mozart was born. And
Going to go see what we can find in Salzburg today, so let's go. After walking through the streets of Salzburg and having some free time there, the group reconvened at the funicular that would take us to the fortress Hohensalzburg. So right now we're heading up a funicular and up to a fortress.
yes.
All right, so let's do it. The fortress Hohensalzburg was originally built in 1077 by the Archbishop Gebhard von Helfenstein. It has been a fortress, a residence, a prison, and is now a tourist attraction. The funicular railway was originally added in 1892 and still serves as a shuttle for tourists up the mountain. The fortress affords a spectacular view of Salzburg, and there are tours and activities year-round. Tickets can be obtained online for between €10 and €16 for adults, depending on the tour, and children between €5 and €9 each. I'll put links in the description.
We then headed back down the mountain and onto the buses for the return trip to Munich. We would spend one more night in Munich, and the next morning we headed for Oberammergau. But there were several stops along the way, including this one at the Weiskirche, or Pilgrimage Church, an intensely ornate Rococo-style Catholic church in Steingaden, Bavaria. The major stop along the way, though, was Neuschwanstein Castle. This is the fabled castle of Mad King Ludwig, and, as almost everyone knows, is the castle Walt Disney is said to have modeled his Cinderella castle for Disneyland after.
First, you should know that while you can take photos outside the castle, There is no photography allowed inside, so any interior pictures you see here are from stock photos I was able to find. And we have to admit, Neuschwanstein was a mixed experience. As you can see, on the one hand, it is jaw-dropping in its opulence. There is literally gold everywhere. Velvet and silk furnishings, marble floors, and muraled walls. It's really astounding. On the other hand, it's so over the top you have to wonder what is going on here. Neuschwanstein was King Ludwig's fantasy of a medieval castle, one with knights and horses and jousting. And so you see on the walls and in the furnishings scenes and items that represent the medieval period. Also, Ludwig was a huge fan of composer Richard Wagner and was one of Wagner's patrons. So inside the castle there are many references to one of Ludwig's favorite Wagnerian operas, Tristan and Isolde.
So what is going on with King Ludwig? King Ludwig lived from 1845 to 1886 and ascended to the Bavarian throne in 1864 at the age of 18. He was a complicated individual, and reports vary as to the real state of his mental health. It is agreed that during his reign he mostly withdrew from state affairs to build extravagant palaces, Neuschwanstein being just one of the 3 he managed to build before he was deposed, and he had plans for at least 2 more. He did not, as is widely thought, use state or government money for them, so he didn't bankrupt Germany, but he used all his own money and then borrowed heavily to pay for his buildings despite warnings from his advisors. Finally, in 1886, he was arrested and removed from power on charges that he was mentally unstable. He was found dead the next day along with his doctor. Officially, his death was ruled a suicide, but many believe he was killed.
Today, those same castles that caused so much trouble back then are major tourist attractions for Germany. The entrance fee for Neuschwanstein is 16 euros for adults. Children under 18 are free. At this recording, all adults and children over the age of 16 are required to wear an FFP mask. Children 6 to 16 may just wear a regular medical mask. I will link the castle's websites in the description.
From the unbridled opulence of Ludwig's castles, it was refreshing to finally see the small town of Oberammergau Wednesday night. Because it is such a small town, our 2 busloads of people were split into 3 hotels, only one of which was actually in Oberammergau. We were fortunate enough to be in that hotel, the Hotel Wittelsbach. It is a very nice, family-owned and operated hotel, and even has its own hotel cat, Mika.
We had most of the next morning free, as Thursday afternoon was our time to see the 5-hour play. I busied myself at Katie Wolfart's 2 Christmas shops, and I may or may not have found a Vinox pyramid that needed to come home with me. Finally, it was time for the Passion Play, and we can tell you now, it did not disappoint. We'll be going in a few minutes. It seats 5,000 people from what we understand, and we're sitting somewhere around the 20th or 23rd row, so we'll see how it goes and let you see when we get in there. So let's go. All right, so we are inside the Passion-Play Theater, and we have got killer good seats. I'm very excited. So let me turn this around and I'll show you. That is how far away from the stage that we are. There really are no bad seats.
It's at a nice slope.
It's at a nice slope. There is supposed to be a little bit of rain, but we won't get rained on, so. Okay, so the way this works is we will be here from 2:30 to 5 for the first part of the play. Then we have 2.5 or 3 hours. And then we have a dinner that's provided and back at our hotel. And then we come back here for the final part of the play, which will be, it'll be
8 to 10:30.
8 to 10:30, so it'll be dark by then. And yeah, this should be really, really amazing. So we're very excited. Let's go.
The Oberammergau Passion Play has been held roughly every 10 years since 1634, when the people of the town, together with the local Catholic priest, petitioned God to protect them from additional suffering and death from the 30 Years' War and the Black Plague. They promised that if he would help them, they would present a play about the Passion of Christ every 10 years forever. We found out that the frequency of every 10 years corresponds to upticks in the plague. According to the town lore, no one in Oberammergau died from the plague after the promise.
All right, so you can see that they put up this like an awning in between, and it is raining cats and dogs. But nobody's going to get wet. The stage is totally dry, and we are totally dry.
Yeah. So there's a nice roof over our heads.
Yeah, it's really nice. So the first half was incredibly intense and just masterful. And
we've heard the second half was even more intense.
Even more so. So obviously there's no photography, but we will bring you everything we can, and including some of these shots from inside the Passion-Play Theater, which is really a masterpiece in and of itself. Oberammergau did not disappoint.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
It really was. The music was amazing. The acting was very well done. The costumes and the staging, the building itself was
amazing.
Really amazing. Yeah. And that really cool awning that they put up
to cover the stage
for the rain. Yeah. It was like, that was brilliant.
That was amazing.
There are some aspects of the Passion Play that if you're not aware of them might be a little jarring.
Yeah, for example, they portray the Savior more as an activist and somewhat angry. Just briefly mention miracles, but really the focus is the last week of his life, the Passion Week.
Right.
And
the other thing that's a little disconcerting, and we were warned about this before, so we knew that this was coming. They really do not depict the resurrection at all.
Yeah, really, it's just Mary at the end saying, he is risen, right. And then the play ends.
Right.
It's sort of abrupt.
It's very abrupt. For those of us who are firm believers in the reality of an actual resurrection, it left us wanting. Let's put it that way.
But it's not. That's not actually part of the Passion.
No, exactly. The Passion of Christ is just the suffering and death of the Savior, and then that's what they depict. That's right. Their faith tradition, and that's what they do. So, if you go in knowing that, then you'll be fine. Yeah, and it was still an amazing experience.
Yeah, it's still a tremendous play. And,
absolutely.
And very well done.
Absolutely.
Excellent. As you may know, in order to participate in the Passion Play, you have to be born in Oberammergau or have lived there for at least 20 years.
Unless you're a kid.
Right.
The kids are invited to be part of it if they want to.
Right. And so it's really quite amazing that with a town of 5,400 people, they can pull off this quality of a production.
Just truly stunning. I mean, the music was written quite a while ago, and they keep it very, very close. You just do not see this music floating around.
Right.
And the fact with this small area, 5,400 people, they're able to pull off a 110-piece orchestra that they split into two. So there's two full orchestras. So it's a 55-piece orchestra in the pit at any time. And so that not everybody's doing it every night. I mean, they have double casting in pretty much everything. There's a 60-voice choir.
Yeah.
At least I counted 60. And I think that must mean there's like 120 of them because they have two choirs. And they are unflinchingly powerful. I mean,
it was amazing.
Really, really amazing.
Yeah.
Very well done. The music was just stunning. Very, very well done. So we highly, highly recommend it. I would give it a 10 out of 10. And so let's talk about the next time. If going to Oberammergau this time is not an option for you, know that they do this every 10 years. So they're definitely going to be doing it again in 2030. But that's 8 years because we're off because of COVID. You know?
And then we think they're going to do one on the 400th anniversary in 2034.
Right.
So that would be another option as well.
So we started looking for our tickets 3 years before we were planning to go. So we started looking in 2017. So start looking in about 2027. Talk to your tour company. And that's even 5 years out is not too early. So talk to your local tour group. Watch the Facebook pages, watch their their website,
Oberammergau's
website, and they will continue to give information. So I can officially check this off my bucket list now.
That was our last night in
Right.
Oberammergau. The next morning, we got up, got on the buses, and headed for Switzerland.
That's
and the
right.
Alps.
And the Alps. So, but that's another whole adventure. So we'll tell you about that next time. So if you haven't had an opportunity to do so, make sure you hit that subscribe button.
Give us a thumbs up if you like the video and ring the bell to get notified.
You bet. And until next time, restless friends, you take care.
Cheers.